You see this? What do you see? I see responsibility. You see, I live in a world where I've done so much real estate, thousands of deals, that people line up wanting to partner with me. And I can't take all of them on. And today I want to share with you how I discovered partnering. I want to share with you how I pick my partners. And I want to share with you whose money I want to work with and whose money I don't want to work with. Because not everyone is going to make a really ideal partner. So we just got to back up for a second, and I want to just share with you a little bit about my journey, because how I discovered partnering kind of felt like it was on accident. If we back up, I had bought my first couple of properties, and my father-in-law, I knew that he had done okay for himself financially. He had done well as a business owner and also in his career. And so I thought, it'd be really cool if I had my father-in-law's approval. But when I bought my first property, he thought I was crazy. When I bought my second property, I thought I had lost all his respect. When I had done my third property, he was fully confused. And then one day out of the blue, he calls me up as I'm trying to figure out how to get money for my fourth deal. It was my first time I had an amazing deal, but I was stuck. And he called me up and he said, "Kris, tell me about this real estate stuff that you're doing." And I was taken really aback by it, but I started breaking it down for him, and he started asking intelligent questions. He wanted to know the numbers. And as he broke it down, I could tell that he was figuring out the ROI. And I think he could tell what I knew, which was that the ROI was astronomically huge. And at the end of the call, he said, "Kris, the next time you find a deal, how about I give you the money and we do it together?" And I said, "Well, Matt, guess what? I've got a deal and I need $20,000 and I need help." And he said, "You know what? We'll go into this as partners, 50-50, and let's go off to the, let's go do this." Well, we did the deal, made money, and then you know what? Because it worked once, you know what my father-in-law said? "Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again." We did it a half a dozen times. And this kind of takes me to my senior year in college. And you got to understand this. I'm sitting there, I've done 10 projects, 7 with him, 3 on my own. It was somewhere right around there. And as a senior in college, I knew that my goal that year was to get to 25 properties. I wanted to retire, if you will, by the time I actually got out of college. And so I knew that I needed to go faster. And as I sat there in one of my classes, my professor was pontificating, and I just thought, I was getting an A in the class, so I wasn't terribly worried. Normally I sit on the front row. I went to the back row to daydream, and I'm like, "Kris, you have got to figure this out. How do you go faster?" And you know what? I had this idea. I'm going way faster than in the beginning because my father-in-law believes in me. And I thought, I now have like 10 properties, not 3. I wonder if now other people would believe in me. And the idea was, I need more father-in-laws. I need people like my father-in-law that have done well. And I decided to make a list. I made a list of people that had gone to college, had good degrees. They were earning powerfully. They were doing well. They were financially, fiscally responsible. They were saving money. So I assumed that they would have money like my father-in-law. And I made a list of 4 people that I knew enough of and about that we would kind of check in with each other. And they were curious about my real estate and say, "Tell me about that." So I decided that week that I was going to take all 4 of them to lunch. It's kind of one at a time. And as I went to lunch with them, I just opened up and showed them my 10 homes. And I showed the first one. We had a good conversation. And you know what they arrived at? "Kris, I'll give you the money. You do all the work. We'll partner up 50-50. And then I went on to the next lunch, and it was the same outcome, in the third and the fourth. And I was like, oh my gosh, by the end of that week, I had 4 new father-in-laws-ish, so to speak. So I now had the ability to do a lot more real estate than I ever have. And there's a responsibility that comes with that. My responsibility when I take someone's money, first of all, they never give me their money, so I never take anything. But there's a responsibility that comes with this green lettuce. They spend a lifetime building and putting this away, just like on my own money when I invest it. So when I actually put a partnership together, there are some things that make that happen. And I want to kind of break that down for you, and I want to help you understand, because this isn't just a video about my journey of discovering partnering. I want to share with you how you can leverage this principle. Just this video alone will lead many of you to talking to moms and dads, mother-in-laws, friends, uncles, bosses, and coworkers, and you're going to partner up and do deals. And that's value that I want to create for you right now. First of all, why would someone actually partner with me and go in 50-50 if they're putting in the money? Well, there's a couple of different things that are happening. You see, I put in an average of 342 hours per investment property that we do. my time is very minimal, but I have a team behind me that's doing all this, so it's kind of complicated. The first thing that I'm having them do is I have a team to do research, because one of the core problems in real estate why people fail is because they don't vet enough properties. They have fewer options and they take the first things that come along. I've got a team that will comb each week through thousands of properties to find 2 or 3 dozen winners that we're going to make offers on and that we're going to pursue or that we're going to buy from the auctions. After my researchers come in, then I have to get my acquisition team involved. Those are the individuals that are actually going to lock down the properties, secure them at the auctions. We're going to work through realtors and buy them on market that way as well. We're just fast to get to the right ones. After acquisition, we have an entire rehab crew that gets involved. We've got property management, you've got ongoing management, you've got accounting. When I talk about a team of 200, it is a very extensive team that all comes together to help do all of this real estate. And so, yeah, a partner will come into the play and they'll give me a pile of money, or at least the partnership a pile of money, because then they have expectations. You see, you need to be careful in how you do your first property, and you have to make it a win because it's part of your track record. And your track record is more valuable than the money that you'll actually make if you ever get involved with partners. So some of you might even be watching this video saying, Kris, if I got some money, can I partner with you? And the answer is, I take on partners, but I vet them very carefully. I have a very careful vetting process. Having money is definitely not enough. You got to have the right mindset and mentality. You got to have the right goals that line up, because one of the things that's happening here is I don't do get rich quick. My partners understand that we're going to build wealth for decades to come, and the goal is to double the money every 5 years. Now, most of my properties are going to have anywhere from a 20 to 30% ROI. That's my goal that I shoot for. That's what I look for, which means that we can double our money perhaps every 4 years. But that's really kind of the name of the game here is I've got a system, I have a team, and this year with my partners, we'll be buying hundreds of properties. And it's fun, it's enjoyable. I love bringing the right partners on where there's that great chemistry. And it's got to be good chemistry because we're going to be building wealth for decades to come. It'll help them get out of their jobs. It'll create their retirement. And I've got a fiscal responsibility. Now, here's the coolest part of why people partner with me more than any. And this is where some people are short-sighted and they don't understand this, which is if you're making 25% on your money now, like let's say a partner put in $250,000, they're going to earn 25% on that. But then guess what? In 5 years, when we double it, we're going to double the size of the portfolio and we're going to be earning equivalent to 50% on the original money. Do you understand what just happened? It wasn't just about doubling the portfolio. We doubled the earnings. And guess what happens 5 years after that? Do you know what the real big goal is? I want my partners earning 100% a year on their money. That means that whatever they originally start with in the partnership, then 10 years from now, we're going to be making that amount of money every single year. And then from there, over the next 5 years, guess what happens to 100%? It turns into 200%, and then it turns into 400%. And friends, that's how you can take a small amount of money and turn it into millions and then tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's really how I discovered partnering, and that's what I'm doing today with my partners. And you might be watching this video and saying, wow, Kris, that's super educational. I need a good track record so I can land partners one day. You got the message. Or you might be watching this video and saying, Kris, dude, I would like to partner with you potentially. What's your vetting process look like? And if you know what that looks like, click the link in the description below. And I have very, very special trained individuals that will actually get to know you. They're going to do some profiling. They're going to understand your finances. And if they feel like we got a good mix, a good match, they'll invite you aboard, we'll connect, and we'll get to go out there and start crushing it in real estate together. Hope that gets to happen. Listen, thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been very useful for you. You might hear my kids screaming in the background because guess what? It's dinner time, which means it's time to go. So subscribe, ring that bell, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video.